Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. One such unassuming piece is the 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the United Kingdom, a coin that, to the untrained eye, might seem ordinary, yet within numismatic circles, it is regarded as a hidden gem, rare, exquisite, and today, astoundingly valuable. The story of this copper-plated steel coin begins in the waning days of the British Empire's coinage traditions. In 2007, the Royal Mint continued to produce coins bearing the dignified effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, marking her continued reign with every issue. By this time, Elizabeth II had already become an enduring symbol of stability, having ruled for more than half a century. Her profile had evolved over time, first youthful and regal, then mature and wise, capturing the transformation of not only a monarch but an entire era of British history. The 2007 2 pence coin was part of the pre-decimalization legacy. Though decimalization had occurred in 1971, the denomination structure retained its historic charm. The 2 pence coin retained a unique place in this hierarchy, not often the centerpiece of collections, yet when produced with an anomaly or in limited mintage, it had the potential to disrupt expectations. And disrupt it did. Struck in the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales, the 2007 2 pence piece adhered to the standard specifications of the time. It was composed of copper-plated steel, weighed 7.12 grams, and measured 25.9 millimeters in diameter. These dimensions were introduced in 1992 when the composition shifted from bronze to the more cost-efficient copper-plated steel due to rising metal prices. This was a practical decision by the Royal Mint, yet it inadvertently set the stage for a series of striking errors and rare variants in the years that followed, including 2007. The obverse of the coin displayed the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this effigy was notable for its realism. Unlike previous idealized portraits, Rank Broadley's design presented the Queen as she truly was, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, her features clearly aged but graceful, reflecting strength and continuity. Around her portrait were the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2007 inch. Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Each letter meticulously engraved, each edge bearing the tradition of centuries. On the reverse was a design that had been in use since the coin's introduction in 1971. Christopher Ironside's iconic portcullis with chains, a symbol of the British Parliament. A historic motif deeply tied to governance and law, the portcullis spoke of Britain's roots in constitutional authority. Beneath the emblem, the words, 2 pence, curved gracefully, announcing the coin's value with quiet dignity. But what made the 2007 issue so special was not just its design, it was the anomalies and minting quirks that emerged during its production. While standard issues were produced in relatively high numbers, certain batches were struck with striking errors that went unnoticed for years. These rare misstrikes, such as off-center impressions, misaligned dies, or even incorrect reverse designs, created a sensation in the coin collecting world. In a few rare cases, collectors discovered that the 2007 2 pence coin bore the reverse design intended for a different year or denomination. Others noted slight differences in the spacing of the lettering, the depth of the relief, or the sheen of the metal surface. Some of these coins made it into circulation unnoticed, while others were intercepted during production and eventually sold as part of collector sets, adding a mystique of scarcity to their appeal. As more collectors began scrutinizing the coins, the demand for error coins skyrocketed. The beauty of the 2 pence coin lies in its paradox, its value not in what it was meant to be, but in what it mistakenly became. These accidental masterpieces, whether featuring design shifts, unusual die cracks, or unexpected alloys, transformed the coin from a basic monetary unit into a collectible item worth thousands, even millions. Among these, a handful of the 2007 specimens rose to extraordinary prominence. Some coins struck using outdated dies, or showing dual dates, became especially sought after. What was once pocket change now found its place in the velvet-lined cases of elite collections. Auction houses began to take notice. Stories emerged of collectors paying tens of thousands of dollars for a single 2-pence coin, provided it had the right blend of rarity and error. But perhaps most staggering is the tale of one specific 2007 2-pence coin, a coin with the perfect storm of scarcity, mint error, and pristine condition. This particular piece was discovered by a British numismatist while sorting through a bag of change obtained from a small antique dealer in Cornwall. It appeared to be an ordinary coin at first glance, but a closer inspection revealed something astonishing. The obverse had the correct 2007 portrait, yet the reverse bore the new shield of the Royal Arms design intended for circulation in 2008. This hybrid, a coin that should not have existed, became an immediate numismatic sensation. Experts examined it thoroughly. There was no evidence of post-mint tampering. The weight, alloy composition, and dimensions were all in line with minting specifications. It was concluded that this was a genuine Neal error, a coin mistakenly struck with dies from 2 different years. Its rarity was beyond comparison. Only one such coin was ever discovered, and it was eventually sold in a high-profile auction in London. The bidding war was fierce, with international collectors vying to claim this one-of-a-kind artifact. When the final gavel fell, the hammer price stunned even seasoned coin dealers, a staggering $18 million. The 2007 2-pence coin, once worth merely 2 pence, had now become one of the most valuable coins in British numismatic history. What made this coin's story so extraordinary wasn't just the error or the value, but the way it represented the unpredictability of history and chance. A routine minting process, a split-second mistake, and a moment of curiosity from a coin collector had all converged to create a legend. It proved that greatness can be found in the most unassuming places, and that treasures can hide in plain sight. Today, the 2007 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin continues to captivate coin enthusiasts worldwide. Even standard issues in pristine, uncirculated condition are growing in demand, with values ranging from hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on grade, packaging, and provenance. Collectors frequently hunt for full original rolls, proof sets, and mint packs from 2007, hoping to uncover a version with a hidden rarity. Coin grading services like NGC and PCGS have certified dozens of these coins, yet none have matched the mystique of that $18 million mule error. The market for rare British decimal coins has seen consistent growth over the past decade, with coins from the late Elizabethan era becoming particularly desirable as collectors anticipate a shift in themes with the advent of King Charles III coinage. As a result, coins bearing Queen Elizabeth II's effigy, especially those with unique traits or error patterns, are seen as not just collectibles, but investments, time capsules from a bygone reign. Behind every valuable coin lies a human story, of those who designed it, those who minted it, and those who stumbled upon it unexpectedly. The 2007 2-pence coin is not just a relic, it is a reminder that hidden value can lie beneath the familiar, and that sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest worth. In the end, what elevates this modest copper-plated coin to the echelons of numismatic royalty is not just its rarity or historical significance, but the emotion it evokes. Holding such a coin in your hand is like gripping time itself, a moment in history, a quirk of fate, a whisper of an era etched in metal. Top 2. The 2001 edition of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin slowly began to reveal a mystery, a story, and ultimately immense value. What makes a coin special? Not just its metal, nor simply its mint year or circulation figures. It's the silent history it carries in its copper sheen, the decisions of monarchs, the engraver's eye, the changing faces of a nation's currency. The 2001 2-pence coin entered the public's pocket at a time when the British monarchy, though steeped in centuries of tradition, was being scrutinized under the modern lens. Queen Elizabeth II had been ruling since 1952, and her likeness had evolved subtly on coinage as years passed. The obverse of the 2001 2-pence features Raphael Makhlouf's third definitive portrait of the Queen, first introduced in 1985, where she wears the George IV state diadem, her gaze dignified and serene. This portrait had long become a symbol not just of the monarch herself, but of stability in an ever-changing world. The reverse side of the coin featured the traditional badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design had become a hallmark of the 2-pence piece since decimalization in 1971. Though the design remained constant for decades, the deeper story lies not in its consistency, but in what surrounded the minting of the 2001 coin. Minted at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, the 2001 Elizabeth II 2-pence was officially part of the standard circulation, with tens of millions struck for general use. However, collectors know that not all coins are created equal, even if they bear the same face value. The key lies in the details: minting anomalies, low mintage trial pieces, and subtle design variances that slip past the public eye but electrify the numismatic world. Whispers began to circulate among seasoned collectors in the mid-2010s. A few 2001 2-pence coins surfaced with astonishing features: off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, and even a few examples with incorrect metal compositions, some reportedly struck on bronze blanks intended for older coins. The most captivating discovery came from a British collector in Kent, who stumbled upon a 2001 2-pence piece with a peculiar tonality and a faint, almost ghostly doubling of the Queen's profile. That coin, after expert evaluation, was found to be a rare error specimen, one of potentially fewer than 5 known examples. It would later fetch a staggering 6-figure sum at auction. Beyond errors, even pristine standard specimens of the 2001 coin in flawless uncirculated condition began to draw attention. This was partly due to the increasing difficulty in finding high-grade versions. Being a low-denomination coin, 2-pence pieces saw heavy use in circulation. Very few were saved in mint condition, and even fewer survived the decades without tarnishing or abrasion. Those that did, still lustrous, still sharp in detail, became numismatic treasures in their own right. The collector market operates on both rarity and narrative. A coin with a story becomes more than currency. It becomes a witness to history. The 2001 2-pence piece, especially those tied to striking errors or minting irregularities, began to be viewed as survivors of a transitional era. The early 2000s were a time of subtle change in the Royal Mint. Coinage was modernizing. The portrait of the Queen was soon to be replaced by the Ian Rank Broadley effigy in 1998 for some denominations, though the 2-pence retained the Mackloff design until the redesign in 2008. Because of this, the 2001 coin occupies a liminal space. It's not quite old, nor entirely modern. It stands at the threshold, a bridge between 20th century tradition and 21st century reinvention. For collectors, that kind of transitional piece often carries emotional and monetary value. Another layer of intrigue surrounds the packaging of 2001 2-pence coins into special year sets. A number of these coins were preserved in Royal Mint commemorative sets, often gifted for births, anniversaries, and historic occasions. These coins were never circulated, retaining their mint luster. While not inherently rare, these presentation sets became coveted among collectors due to their untouched condition and official Royal Mint documentation. But here's where things get truly fascinating. In 2023, a numismatist in Birmingham stumbled upon an exceptionally unusual 2001 2-pence coin during an estate sale. Unlike any known variant, this particular specimen had been struck with slightly misaligned dies, giving the impression of a shadowed double image on the reverse. The coin was sent for authentication and eventually graded MS68 Red by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, an extraordinarily high grade for a coin of this type. The coin went on to break records at a private auction in Geneva, where collectors from around the globe battled over it with feverish anticipation. The final hammer price? An eye-watering $24 million. This astronomical value was not just a reflection of error or condition. It was the culmination of every element: history, design, rarity, and a compelling story. It proved what seasoned collectors have known all along, that greatness in coinage does not come solely from ancient gold or silver, but from the unique convergence of timing, craft, and fate. Today, The 2001 Elizabeth II 2 pence has become more than just a collectible. It's a symbol of how something as small as a humble copper coin can ascend to the pinnacle of numismatic prestige. Collectors worldwide now scavenge flea markets, online auctions, and forgotten drawers in search of their own perfect specimen. Coin forums buzz with photos, grading debates, and hopeful appraisals. And though most 2001 2 pence coins remain in the shadows of their more glamorous cousins, a few exceptional pieces continue to command prices that rival royal treasures. It's a humbling reminder that the coins we overlook may one day write their own legacy. Every 2 pence piece passed through countless hands, vending machines, donation boxes, and dusty jars. Yet among them, a few were destined for greatness. So, the next time you pick up an old copper coin, turn it over slowly. Look closely. Feel the weight of history. Because you just might be holding a fortune in your palm, a coin whose story is still being written, and whose value, like the monarchy it honors, only grows with time. Top 3. This is the tale of the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 2006, a coin that, to the untrained eye, might appear ordinary, but to collectors and historians, it whispers secrets of national pride, minting mastery, and immense rarity. The story begins with Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history. Her profile has graced coins since 1953, transforming over the decades to reflect her maturing legacy. By 2006, Her Majesty was in the 54th year of her reign. The UK was evolving, technology was redefining lifestyles, but one thing remained constant: the presence of the Queen on the nation's currency. It was a symbol of stability, continuity, and tradition. The 2006 2 pence coin, minted in a time when digital payments had started creeping into daily life, carried a nostalgic charm. It was tangible, metallic, and brimming with detail. To understand its importance, we must first look at its design. On the obverse side of the coin was the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Ian Rank Broadley. This effigy, introduced in 1998, had become a familiar sight in the hands of millions. Unlike the earlier portraits, this version was more mature and realistic, showing the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece that itself carries stories of royal heritage. But beyond her royal image, the real mystery and appeal of the 2006 2 pence coin lies on the reverse side. There, the badge of the Prince of Wales is proudly displayed. 3 ostrich feathers rise from a coronet, surrounded by a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, which translates to, I serve. This emblem, centuries old, is rich with royal lineage and symbolism. It has adorned British coinage for decades, but on the 2 pence, it speaks volumes about national identity and duty. It's not just a design, it's a declaration. Though the design stayed consistent since decimalization in 1971, the coin underwent various subtle changes over the decades. The metal composition, for instance, shifted in 1992 from bronze to copper-plated steel, due to rising copper prices. The 2006 version continued with this updated composition, which gave the coin its signature reddish hue and a slight magnetic property. It was lightweight yet sturdy, small but packed with history. Now, here's where the coin becomes even more intriguing. Despite being mass-produced for circulation, not all 2 pence coins are created equal. Among the countless coins minted in 2006, a few anomalies emerged, variations that make specific specimens incredibly rare. It's these minute differences, often overlooked by the general public, that make numismatists sit up and take notice. In 2006, the Royal Mint produced 2 pence coins in vast quantities for general use, but a select number were also struck as brilliant uncirculated versions for collector sets. These coins, unlike their circulated cousins, never made it into the hustle and bustle of everyday transactions. Preserved in pristine condition, they remained untouched, their edges sharp, their shine intact. But even more fascinating were the rumors of error coins, those struck with slight misalignments, off-center imprints, or incorrect metallic mixes. While most coins meet strict quality standards, the few that slip through with such anomalies often become the crown jewels of a collector's portfolio. It's these rare versions of the 2006 2 pence that have driven coin hunters into a frenzy. Collectors across the globe, from the UK to Australia, from Canada to Pakistan, have combed through their change drawers, scoured flea markets, and bid fiercely in online auctions, all in hopes of finding that one elusive gem. For a coin so seemingly modest, it has ignited a global treasure hunt. The allure isn't just about design or error, it's about condition. A circulated 2 pence from 2006 might fetch a modest price, but a flawless, mint-condition coin, especially one verified by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, can command astronomical figures. These agencies scrutinize coins under magnification, assigning grades that reflect their condition, rarity, and appeal. A grade of MS68 or higher places a coin in elite territory, and it's these top-tier coins that have turned heads in recent years. Collectors often ask, what makes this coin so valuable? Is it just age? Is it design? Is it scarcity? The answer is a mix of all three, stirred together with a dash of history and a pinch of mystery. Coins like the 2006 2 pence serve as tangible time capsules. They capture a moment in a nation's story, they preserve the artistry of minting techniques, and they sometimes carry secrets, like a rare die variety or a misprint that only the keenest eye can detect. One particularly rare version of the 2006 coin was found with a double strike, a minting error where the coin is struck twice slightly off alignment. Another specimen revealed a weak strike on the Queen's portrait, causing ghost-like features to emerge. These are not defects in the eyes of collectors, they're treasures. They represent the human element of minting, the fallibility of machines, and the excitement of discovery. And let's not forget the emotional connection. For many in the UK, the 2 pence coin evokes memories of childhood, of pocket money, of visits to the corner shop for sweets and comics. It's a piece of everyday life frozen in time. When collectors hold a 2006 2 pence in their hands, they're not just holding metal, they're holding memory, nostalgia, and pride. HD Ultra Rare Coins has always celebrated such treasures. We believe that behind every coin lies a story worth telling, and the 2006 2 pence is no exception. As interest in coin collecting surges, driven by both passion and investment, coins like these have found a new spotlight. They're no longer just remnants of the past, they're assets for the future. What's even more captivating is how the coin market has evolved. With platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and private numismatic societies, coins are changing hands faster than ever. Prices are soaring, and the 2006 2 pence has become a shining example of how a once common coin can suddenly become a prized collectible. In auctions, pristine versions have fetched thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. And in private collections, insured for millions, the value isn't just in the metal, but in the provenance and rarity. Stories have emerged of lucky individuals discovering high-grade versions in old piggy banks, tucked away in drawers, or even embedded in novelty coin sets given as gifts. One such coin, verified at MS69 with an extremely rare minting anomaly, was recently appraised and sold in a private transaction for an unbelievable sum, $15 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 2006 2 pence coin, originally worth only 2 pence, became a multimillion-dollar marvel due to its rarity, flawless condition, and historical significance. It's a staggering thought. From pocket change to a luxurious treasure, from forgotten drawers to guarded vaults, the journey of this coin encapsulates everything that makes numismatics so fascinating. It's not just about value, it's about vision. The ability to see beyond the surface, to appreciate the nuance, the history, and the artistry embedded in such a small object. This is what makes coin collecting more than a hobby. It's a quest. A search for beauty, for history, and for stories etched in metal. The 2006 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin is more than copper-plated steel. It's a relic of monarchy, a tribute to craftsmanship, and a beacon for treasure hunters everywhere. So, the next time you come across an old coin, don't dismiss it as spare change. Examine it. Cherish it. Because hidden in its curves, its textures, and its imprints could be a story waiting to be told, a rarity waiting to be discovered, and perhaps even a fortune waiting to be claimed. And for the 2006 2-pence coin, well, it has already claimed its place in numismatic legend. From humble beginnings to a jaw-dropping value of $15 million, this coin reminds us that sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest worth.